shit is crazy. Shit happens sometimes. My nigga Chris Rock got a chin though. I know ain't nobody even.
Hi guys, last night, I was not going to watch the Oscars because I don't normally watch the Oscars. I mean, it has been years since the Oscars has had anything on it that is mildly surprising. I remember a few years ago, maybe this was back in 2014, they took a picture, all of them together, Ellen DeGeneres and Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, and they all took a selfie together. And that was like the highlight, the last time I remember actually, watching something from the Oscars, because after that I've just lost interest. This year it's all about this slap that Will Smith walked up, slapped Chris Rock. Chris Rock made some joke about G.I. Jane, that Demi Moore movie. I mean, that movie was not even that good, but she had a shaved head in the movie. She was a soldier, she was a recruit, and so he was comparing Demi Moore to Jada Pinkett Smith, and Will took that as an insult, and because it's reported now that Jada has alopecia, which causes people's hair to fall out, an autoimmune disease. So he got up and he hit Chris Rock. Now I don't condone violence, and this is no exception. I mean, comedians make jokes. I think it was inappropriate. It was an inappropriate joke. It was in poor taste, but what Will did was respond to poor taste and an inappropriate joke to commit what is easily prosecuted assault. Will could have ended up himself in handcuffs after this. Chris Rock has said he's not going to press charges, but this was a display of machismo, or was just overly emotional. And one of the things is sad, for someone who has children, is you have to tell your child that what this 53-year-old man did to this other 58-year-old man is wrong, and this is not something that is condoned. I mean, this can, you could end up in the principal's office because of this and getting suspended. And so this is not right. And I've heard women out there saying, Will stood up for our honor and all of that stuff. You know what? Listen, we're not in the 1800s. This is not how things are done. Will would have served himself better if he had, after the event, wrote an article, put a post that this was done in poor taste, and spoke about the situation of Jada. Today, what the story would have been? How Chris Rock had poor taste, and everyone would be on Will and Jada's side. But no, today it is all about people turn up their nose and saying, look at the violence, two black men on stage, and it's a bit of an embarrassment that this happened. You know what? Chris Rock had poor taste in that joke, but he had great restraint. He controlled himself. He could have turned this into something of a melee, and that would have been disgusting for anyone to see. And you know what? He didn't press charges, and one of the reasons why he probably wouldn't have pressed charges is Chris Rock and Will Smith, they have worked together. They have shared a great relationship over the years. So this is something that, I suspect that they're used to each other and all of this stuff. But Chris Rock, you know what? I think he saw a familiar face out there. There's a joke written, and it was to make fun of Jada. And a lot of people, I can tell you, a lot of men, they're not fans of Jada Smith, because the main thing is that when she had that affair and she came out with it, they thought she was emasculating Will. And I don't think Will himself has really recovered from that, because in the public's eye, especially among a lot of black men, this is just unacceptable. I mean, she could have had the affair, kept it private and that, but I guess it was the guy who came out with it and all of that. But they have a special type of marriage. I don't, that's not a marriage that could work for me, but to each their own. But you know what, after this all, one thing I can say is, I think the main takeaway is, we don't condone violence regardless. This is not something, a response to an inappropriate joke. That should never be. You should be able to match words with words, not words with fists. And that's my takeaway from this. And you know what? you know what? I don't think Chris Rock and other comedians should be making fun of, you know, women for their weight, for their hair, or anything like that. Those things need to be out of bounds. There's too much emotions, too much self-esteem tied to those things right now. These are becoming, you know, points that which people are, it's unacceptable now. I mean, we can't say this was done in the 80s, this was done in the 90s, so you know, it's okay. I mean, the society is becoming, it is changing, and we have to change with the times. So let's not make bad jokes, but in no circumstances, even if the bad jokes are made, these should not be responded with fists and violence. That's something we cannot condone. So guys, you know what? This is maybe the 10,000th story on this, but you know what? I had to give my take on it. Thanks, guys.